So today we're going to be making a black and white cookie, but a little bit of a spin on the regular black and white cookie from New York City. I'm going to be making a rainbow black and white cookie. And I looked up this recipe and I tried to make it as easy as possible, and I didn't feel like making it from like scratch, but I felt like making it from a box mix might be an okay substitute for a busy person like me. So I used 2 boxes of cake vanilla mix. And here I am cracking 4 eggs, and there also is the vegetable oil. And these box mixes are fantastic. There's no shame in using them. I totally used them often for my muffins I made for my students, and I like adding a little bit of something to it. So I'm zesting some lemon into it. It just adds like that little bit of like, oh, it's nice. It's not just a regular box mix. And I zest right into the mixing bowl. You don't have to involve a cutting board or anything. I'm into shortcuts that allow me more time for my family instead of at the kitchen sink doing dishes later. So I'm going to mix this up just with the fork. Nothing special. No whisk. No wooden spoon. Just the fork that everyone has in the kitchen. I'm really into utilitarian cooking. Something that is approachable for anyone. I remember in 4th grade, my class was baking oatmeal raisin cookies for the troops that were in Iraq. That was like a project the teacher was organizing. And each student in the class had to bring in something to contribute to baking these oatmeal cookies. And I got assigned to bring in measuring cups when I was 9 years old. But I was so embarrassed because my mom, she doesn't bake. We're Vietnamese. The oven was used as a storage unit. It was never used to actually bake. Like, if you opened up our oven, there would be saute pans. There would be like just random Tupperware in there. The oven literally never got used. So if the oven's never used, if there's never any baking, we didn't have measuring tools like measuring cups and everything. So I was so embarrassed. I couldn't tell my teacher because she was really mean. And I was afraid she would yell at me and humiliate me in front of the class. So I asked a classmate whose mom would always send her to school with cupcakes for her birthday. So I knew for sure that they had like proper measuring tools. So I called her up and I asked her like, oh, do you mind? Like, I don't have a measuring cup. Do you mind bringing a measuring cup for me? So she's like, yeah, that's fine. Just in case if my friend didn't bring in a measuring cup, I brought in like this like random glass cup with a heart on it and like a couple of lines that my mom would use sometimes as a make-do measuring cup. Not like a proper one, but just like something that she would use to kind of estimate when she made like dumplings. And my friend told the teacher, oh, Suella asked me to bring in a measuring cup, so here's a measuring cup. And I have that like my rinky-dink Salvation Army cup. My teacher's like, what is this? So my instincts were right in not, confiding in my teacher because she was the devil. But can you imagine like a 9-year-old not knowing what to do? So, I mean, I managed at the time, but I don't know if like most 9-year-olds should have to deal with that. And then I have here 6 different bowls because I'm going to have 6 different colors for my rainbow. And I tried mixing a few because most of these color packages are in primary colors. So to do purple, you have to mix blue and red at a certain proportion. And I'm trying to be careful to make sure each bowl has an equal amount because I don't want to end up with like all red cookies. By the end, like that, that last cookie is just like the leftovers of everything. I wanted each cookie to be as identical as possible. And they're looking quite festive. And with an ice cream scooper, I just grab a little bit of batter from each of the bowls. And I have an ice cream scooper only because I used to make a lot of muffins, cupcakes for my students, and an ice cream scooper is perfect because it grabs approximately the same amount of batter for each cupcake liner. Pretty convenient. I've never actually used it for ice cream. I've only used it for baking. So once again, grab a little bit of batter from each of the bowls and pop it onto your baking sheet. And I use a silicone mat because it's just so amazing. Nothing's ever stuck on it, which is so convenient when you're making cookies, or in this case, cake cookies. And voila, I have a whole sheet of cookies. And I was able to make 2 sheets with the 2 boxes of cake batter. I pop it into the oven. It doesn't take much time because they're smaller than normal cakes. They're just cookies with mounds of batter. And using a double boiler, I melt the chocolate. I don't have a real double boiler. I just use like any pot with boiling water and a metal bowl. So for the black and white topping, for the black and white cookie, I use dark chocolate for the black side and white chocolate for the white side. And I slowly melt the chocolate over a double boiler because it's a lot gentler than like microwaving it. So I just stir it, and slowly it becomes a really silky and glistening, beautiful chocolate mixture that's spreadable. So just like that. And I take it off the heat a little bit earlier because the metal bowl continues to melt the chocolate. Even when you see little clumps of chocolate that hasn't fully melted, I still take it off of the double boiler just so that it can melt a lot slower on the counter. Then I move on to my white chocolate. I use the same process. Put it in the bowl, let it melt very slowly, use a spatula to kind of move it around, and eventually it becomes a really smooth, silky mixture. That will be perfect for spreading onto the cookies. So this is the spreading part. I tried to be meticulous by spreading the dark chocolate on the half that has all of the colors. So just so that if someone tears it tears the cookie in half, they're going to see the whole rainbow instead of just seeing red. So I'm spreading the dark chocolate on one side, and then I'll spread the white chocolate on the other side and let them dry. I believe in New York City, the bakeries that make these cookies, they have these offset spatulas. That makes it a lot easier to like spread a whole bunch of melted chocolate onto the top of the cookie. But I actually have one of those. I just don't know where it is because my kitchen is so disorganized and tiny. Another thing too, like you guys know that I made these cookies for a party, and unfortunately I packed up all the cookies and just gave them all away. I didn't actually get to try my own cookies. And my husband didn't get a chance to try them either because we were just so busy being hosts and catching up with people, making sure people were fed and had drinks, and we were just so busy. You know, when you're a host, like it's like being at your own wedding. The bride and the groom never get a chance to eat because you're always like socializing and trying to catch up with people and make sure that the people who came to your wedding are happy at your wedding. But at least that's how it was for my wedding. I don't think I had enough time for me. It was more like making it worth other people's time to be there, making sure they were having a good time and happy. That cookie is absolutely gorgeous. Look how that chocolate glistens. I truly wish I got a chance to just bite into one. Maybe I'll make it again. Maybe I'll make it with just one box of cake mix. And the actual colors don't have any flavor, so I could just make a regular cookie, but the rainbow effect is so pretty. I want to be able to split one open and see a rainbow inside. So there you go. Those are my gorgeous black and white cookies. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Bye.